Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. Today we have Rachel Schnorr, Joseph Holland, Christy Mims, Harlan Johnson, Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. I'm Landon, and this is Rebekah Radice, who is the founder of training and development companies Rebekah Radice Media and Radiant LA, and the Chief Marketing Officer at PostPlanner. Over the last decade, she's trained thousands of growth-focused leaders on how to build a purpose-driven marketing system. As the author of Social Media Mastery, a comprehensive guide to strategic growth, a recognized digital marketing expert, and an international keynote speaker, Rebekah has spoken at over 200 events, including Inbound, Social Media Marketing World, and the NATO International Summit. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great. So tell me what a purpose-driven marketing system is.
Well, it is one where instead of looking at sales and marketing and all of those different pieces within our business as the silos that we have for so many years, it's looking at it from a very holistic point of view. So really marrying all of those departments together so that what you're doing over here and what you're doing over here all rolls up into what the company is actually looking to achieve.
So do you suggest that there literally not be separate departments for sales and marketing?
Well, I think that might be going a little bit overboard, but no, I definitely think that we need to be working much closer together as opposed to so many situations where you walk in and marketing is over here, sales is over here. We're pointing a whole lot of fingers at who's doing what or who's not doing what, and instead cohesively collaborating. So really coming together in a way that allows for marketing to understand that what they're doing and how they're working and the content that they're creating on a daily basis, how it's actually supporting the true ROI of the company, and then vice versa, allowing sales to understand how their daily interactions really work with the marketing department.
And so how do you do that? What is it that the marketing folks need to know that you think that they don't know, or the sales folks need to know that they don't know?
Yeah, great question. I think first of all, it's understanding that what I do impacts you and vice versa. And so really being able to sit down and have a conversation about how do we strategically align what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So from every conversation you have to every email that I create on the marketing team, how do all of those impact what we are trying to achieve together? And so really coming together and understanding who is that audience that we're looking to connect with. And that's one of the biggest stumbling blocks. You know, I find it funny, not funny, haha, but funny, ironic, that everybody from entrepreneur to enterprise tends to have this one common challenge, which is how do we take marketing and sales performance and tie it to business outcomes? And so much of that is because we get lost in the how. We get lost in the how do I make more sales? How do I sell at a higher profit? How do I, before we've actually identified, well, who's that person we're speaking with? Who is that person that we naturally want to attract to our company? So that's really the first place to start.
Is to identify who it is that we're trying to target.
Right, because too often sales has a very different interpretation of who that sales qualified lead is as opposed to the marketing that's looking at it from a marketing qualified lead perspective.
Yeah. And then the sort of like classic thing is that salespeople get frustrated because marketing is sending crappy leads, and marketing gets frustrated because they don't close the leads that they're generating.
Correct.
And
it's a vicious cycle.
And it's a vicious cycle. And you figure that gets solved by everybody being on the same page about what the goal is and who it is that we're targeting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, got it. So tell me this, you've been doing this for a long time now. And you had, sounds like, many different roles and successes along the way. If you could give your younger self a bit of advice that would have made your career smoother or simpler or easier, what would that have been?
Wow. Okay, there would probably be quite a few.
Yeah, we'd have to talk, sister.
As entrepreneurs, as business owners, I think you fail more than you succeed, right? Because you try again, and that would probably be one of my biggest is don't be afraid of failure. When we're younger, we're trying so hard to appear put together. We want to appear smarter and wiser, like we know it all, and it's really okay. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's okay to seek out people that have that experience.
Yeah.
It's okay to try something and fall flat on your face. You know, within that, we recognize what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. Then we can start to surround ourselves with those people that do things a whole lot better than we do.
Yeah.
So if anything, I wish I had let go of the idea of perfection and the idea that I had to do it all.
And who would you go be getting advice from? It sounds like you're talking about, you know, go trying to get a mentor or maybe a support system. Who is it that you would focus on getting help from?
Well, 100% the people that are already doing what you want to do. So those people that have truly achieved what it is you're looking to accomplish within your own life and business.
Yeah, you know, those that have been successful and kind of actually achieved a thing, they get a lot of people wanting to pick their brain.
Yeah.
So how do you approach somebody who you know actually has been there and done that in a way that's not going to feel like they want to say no to you?
Yeah, well, you know, it comes down to building a relationship and a rapport. That's definitely got to be there. So take an interest in that person. You can't just go in like a cold call and expect that you're going to get a response. So if they are influential, which more than likely they are within your space, take an interest in them. Start to interact with them, comment, ask questions, just like you would do in any other normal relationship, which we tend to overlook in the online world.
It's really interesting, actually. We're, you know, at this conference right now, and I notice I have a relationship online with so many people, right? Because I'm active in our community, and I'm in there, you know, basically every day. And so I know a lot of people by name, not so many people by face, right? And so this is our kind of once a year time to come together. And I do notice that that it really is easy to, like, I notice that I have like little judgments or thoughts about, or like it's easy for me to dismiss people when they're just a name on a Facebook feed or whatever. But then when they're right in front of you, you're like, wow, this is like a totally cool person that I've just like kind of ignored. You know, online or whatever. And it really is a different kind. I guess to your point, it really is, I notice, easy to overlook and sort of skip the real connection that happens so naturally in person when you're relating online.
That's such a great point, because it really is. People can become numbers, and as we know, especially with social media, it did become a numbers game for many years. And I truly believe that we've come full circle, and we're coming back to a time where people want that deep connection. They want to get to know who you are, and so when you take an interest in others, they're naturally going to take an interest in you, and it becomes just this conversation. And so again, you know, it goes back to relationship, building that rapport, getting to know each other, and making sure there's a win-win there, that you're not going to be a huge drain or a suck on your time. As you said, you've got a lot going on, but that I can truly give back to you as well, like, between the mentor and the mentee. So it's got to be a win-win too, and you've got to come at it from, and I think that's a place where a lot of people think, well, what could I give, you know, to a mentor? But we all have the opportunity to learn and grow from each other. So I think as long as we come from that place of, you know, give to get, and we've all got that opportunity to give something away of value, you're going to find that right person. It may take a little bit of time, and that's where, you know, just putting yourself out there and not taking no for an answer, and knowing exactly who that person is. So you got to be really clear with yourself too, that you're not just looking for anybody.
I think also, I mean, just speaking from my own experience, I am pretty tired of giving people advice and then having it not taken. You know what I mean? And if somebody asks me a question and I give them my answer, and they were to come back to me and go like, you know what, I did the thing and it worked, or I did the thing and it didn't work. Like all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, okay, this is a person who's actually not just wasting my time. They're actually going out and doing the thing, and like now suddenly I'm like way more interested in going like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Let's think about that again. What would I try next? Let's go at this, right?
Yeah. Well, it's inspiring to you,
yeah, right?
Like, because it's feeding into you in a way that you're learning that, hey, what I'm telling you does work.
Yeah.
So you're getting that feedback loop, and they're also able to see for themselves that, hey, if I commit to the process, if I actually follow this advice, then I take step 2, then I take step 3, and you're able to walk them through that. But I think there's a level of trust there too between the two of you, where they've got to trust in you that whether it makes sense to them or not at the time, they're going to follow through.
You might as well, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think everybody wants to make a difference.
Absolutely.
And if it feels like their time is invested in something that isn't going to make a difference because the person is going to go and not do the work anyway, then it's a waste. Yeah. But if they're going to play the game and you're like, okay, this will make a difference, then it becomes worthwhile all of a sudden. So tell me this, you've got a lot of things going on. What do you think your unique skill set is that has you be successful across a bunch of different roles?
Yeah, for me, I've always believed that it's my ability to see everything end to end. So coming in, I can see the chaos that's going on within a company, and I can see the end result. So I can really see from beginning to end in a very linear sense, okay, here's what's happening, let's dig in, here's how we're going to solve that particular problem, and this is what it's going to look like when we get there. And being able to see that whole picture is incredibly helpful. And I've been on the sales side as well as the marketing side. I think that's a big benefit as well. So I understand the mentality behind both and sometimes the why. They butt heads. And I can understand, so very empathetic in that sense, where I have been there, done that, can put myself in their shoes and really help them come together. Yeah,
and apart from just coming together, it seems like you've seen, companies, help transform a number of different companies and really impact their results. What do you see is working today? Like, what's really working for companies to generate more business for themselves? Yeah, really it comes down to intent and creating content that is truly intentional for the audience that you're looking to cultivate. It might not be the one you actually have. And that is the situation for a lot of companies I work with, where they have attracted the exact wrong audience. And we're really starting from scratch and really identifying who is the right audience and how do we bring them in and how do we naturally attract them to the company. So for a lot, it's really identifying what content have you already created, what can we do to repurpose or repackage that up, put that into a different presentation, and then how can we start to create that intentional content that's going to move them through that marketing funnel. So that's going to really help to build awareness with those people that you've wanted to connect with or looking for your exact solution. Didn't know you were even out there. And then helping move them down through that funnel so that, again, you're back to working with sales and marketing where these are truly sales qualified leads that you're passing off and not just a whole lot of people with zero interest in your product or service. Yeah, absolutely. And tell me this, what are you, what is exciting to you right now in terms of your cutting edge? What are you learning about right now? What is the next mountain for you? The next mountain for me? Well, gosh, that's a terrific question. I think I've been so immersed in the training and development for so long that, cutting edge comes in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's the tools or the process or the system. But for me right now, my main focus is streamlining. So helping companies really take this bloated marketing and sales system that they've accumulated over the years and streamlining that down. Simplicity, I think, is where it's at going forward.
simplifying, simplifying, simplifying. And that doesn't mean doing away with your team, but rather doing away with all those unnecessary to-dos that we have going on a daily basis, or automated processes, or processes that aren't automated that could be. So really simplification, I think, is my focus, and I think that's going to be the wave of the future, where we put so many different pieces in place that we've almost created hurdles or barriers for ourselves to success.
Yeah, where it's like trying to move move anything becomes like you're going to start breaking things, and it's just
overwhelming.
Yeah, overwhelming. Yeah, exactly. So as you think about your career as a whole, what do you hope that your sort of legacy will be?
For me, it really is about being able to help as many people as I possibly can realize their true potential within their marketing and sales. So it's within their online world. And I do all of that through relationship marketing. So the bottom line is how many people can I impact on a daily basis that just creates that wave, like you just said, of impact, where we're all helping one another, get from where we are to where we want to be, and as quickly and as painless as we possibly can.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and Modern Entrepreneur, we're calling this, Modern Entrepreneur podcast because we're trying to figure out what you think it is that's unique about this moment in, entrepreneurial history. What's different today than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Like I just said to you, I don't know that it's necessarily different, but it's an exciting time because we started way back when where we were all figuring it out together in the online world. And there was inbound and there was outbound, and we were all just trying to figure out where our place was. And then all of a sudden, that relationship building, the camaraderie, the working together turned into a whole bunch of marketers with bullhorns. And we were just pushing out content, and it was growth hacking and growth driven and growth this and growth that. And we were so focused on the numbers, we forgot about who our audience was, who our partners were, who we were out there actually working with. And I believe we've come back to that. And it's a very exciting time in that sense, where instead of going wide, we're all really going deep with those relationships. And I think that's for those that invest the time into getting to know the right people, and like you said, getting face to face, interacting, really taking an interest in people. Those are the companies that are going to win in the future.
Awesome. Rebekah, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me here.
It's been a great conversation. Would you sign our wall?
Oh, of course. I would love to sign your wall.
Awesome.
Just a bit of whirling. Clear those right up.